It's been a full year since the Vital Bracelet BE was released, and while I have loved the BE since its launch, and even the VB and Digivice V before it, how does it shape up now that we're a year on from its initial release? After wearing it every day since release, with general physical exercise being taking it with me when walking the dogs or when I go to the gym, I noticed that after about 4 or so months, the bottom button lost its click feeling, and the top button shortly followed after a few months later, so after about 9 months of use. This is an issue that I have complained about before. This is an issue that I've had with the Digivice V as well, and the issue did carry over to the BE's release, meaning that it wasn't fixed after the Digivice V's release. So what I'm referring to is that the button, when you first get the BE, it has like a click, like haptic feedback sort of thing. You click it and it goes click, like a button. But after a while, it kind of feels a little bit squishier. And then, as of recording this, it is November, so almost a year since I first got my BE, the buttons started to completely lose the ability to button, for the lack of a better word. So the issue is that sometimes it's intermittently working. So sometimes it's rather temperamental, sometimes it's acting like it's being pressed down when I'm not touching it, other times I'll be pressing it and the button, as the youth would say, the button isn't buttoning. It just appears not to work. So it's very, very temperamental. And this was the same issue that I experienced with my Digivice V about 6 months after it released, and then a few months after the buttons just stopped working, especially the bottom button in particular. So that appears just to be an issue with the unit itself, and it's a little bit of a disappointment, and I've mentioned it quite a lot in various videos. If you're up to date and you've been watching all of my Vital Bracelet BE memory unboxings, I've kind of been outlining like the deterioration of the buttons in each video, like, hey, it works, but there's squishy, and then, oh, it's not working so well, or the top buttons now are not working. It's a little bit annoying, and this is just a huge issue. It's not just me, it's not a me thing. This is a fairly widely reported issue, and it was with the Digivice V as well. So the fact that the Digivice V only really had, like, a year between its release and the BE release, so maybe some people didn't get to experience that as much, but now that the BE has been released and has been out for a year, and there's been not a BE Model 2, a lot more people are experiencing this button issue. So that is a huge disappointment. After the top button stopped working, you can see I'm not wearing my Vital Bracelet for one of the only times in a video when I'm not wearing it. And it's not because it's on charge, I'm just not using this much because of the button issue. Even though I do have replacement BE models, it's still just annoying that that's going to be an issue. I shouldn't have to have replacement models, it should just still work. While yes, it is a toy, it's not meant to be like a fitness device like my Fitbit, it's still a little bit disappointing that it just will break. Especially, it's not a cheap toy by any means. So that is the main complaint that I have about it. So while I do still love the Vital Bracelet BE, and I do recommend it to anybody who loves gamified fitness as much as I do, and also enjoys any of the franchises that have had BE memories, I feel like it's just simply not durable enough to be a full gamified fitness toy. And yeah, that's what it is, it's a toy. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but the primary advertising for the standard version of the BE, when it's not connected to any franchise, it tries to advertise it more or less as a fitness watch, rather than it just being a gamified fitness toy. However, it is priced at more like higher end toy pricing and not at the fitness watch pricing. So under $100 you get a BE, about $400 you get a Fitbit. So there is a big difference between the price of the BE and the price of an actual fitness. Like this is a fitness, an actual Fitbit. This is a Fitbit Sense 1, which is like 400, 500 Australian dollars, which is stupid expensive for just a watch. Or, well, I don't know. I mean, it's not like a Tudor or an Omega or something, but it's still expensive for just a fitness watch. And it's kind of, that's a huge jump between the price of a BE and the price of an actual Fitbit. So I'm not expecting Fitbit quality from a toy, from what is essentially just a toy. So if it had fitness watch pricing, it would obviously be a lot more expensive, and this would be if the BE was made more durable, and if it had more characteristics of a Fitbit or similar fitness watch brand. It's sad that you can expect the buttons to deteriorate within a few months, and there's also another common issue that I've heard about with the charging port that stops working. I haven't had this issue, but that seems to be another fairly common complaint that I've heard. So the overall durability is something to be mindful if you're interested in a BE and you haven't jumped in yet. However, both the button issues I mentioned and the charging port issue existed in previous models as well, so it makes me feel like Bandai's not doing correct QA. Like, the button issue appears to be more or less not just a matter of, like, if it happens. It feels like it's at this point when it happens. Like, it just will happen after a while because of how it was put together, especially because this was an issue in previous models. I do, however, appreciate the ability to update the firmware on the Vital Bracelet BE. Various new additions, such as items and an indication on which requirements have been met, they're definitely welcome. While the process doesn't seem particularly straightforward to someone with little knowledge of computers, as it requires a microSD card, and the BE doesn't have any onboard Wi-Fi like the most recent Tamagotchi release has, it is still a nice functionality to have to be able to upgrade your Vital Bracelet. I really do appreciate that. There's also the fact I mentioned early on in the BE's life that the adventure mode doesn't proceed automatically on BE memories like it does on DIMMs, and as of recording this hasn't been fixed with an official update. Speaking of adventure mode, the progress through the adventure missions on your BE saves to the BE and not to the app, so if you have to change your Vital Bracelet BE because the button stopped working, that progress for the adventure missions doesn't carry over onto the app like it does with the old app. So, which brings me to my next point, the companion app. It is still bad. I've done a video on if it's still bad. Yes, it's still bad. You can watch that video if you want more reasons why it's bad. And that's just such a disappointment. The events have been fun, and the force battles tie into Digimon Seekers, which is the currently running Digimon web novel on Digimon.net, which is available free and in English. I've covered it before. Check out my other videos if you want to know more. It still doesn't have the same level of fun that raids in the older app had, not to mention the rewards for both battle events and the force battle events seem to be fairly lackluster. The app is also so slow, and it feels like it's just getting slower at this point. And there have also been various bugs over the app's lifespan, and it's like when one bug is fixed, another seems to take its place, which is really annoying. I was even locked out of the app for a week because of a bug, and I thought I had permanently lost my Digimon. Well, I understand that the current app is built in-house, whereas the old app was developed by a contracted third party, meaning once that contract was done and the app could no longer have major updates, it kind of didn't have any future updates. I do really just wish the original app had just an overhaul with the BE functionality added on. It was a fine app. I don't know why we got a new app, but other than just like contracts and stuff. Overall, I do still love the BE, but at the same time, I'm hoping for a BE 2 that fixes the issues with both the buttons and the charging ports, as otherwise, other than the app, I would have very little to complain about the BE. I've enjoyed having it with me every day, and it's a fairly low-maintenance virtual pet-esque toy with Digivice adventure mission sort of functionality as well. So yes, even with these issues, I would recommend it, but absolutely keep all the points that I've mentioned in this video in mind, as they could be a determining factors for your own enjoyment of the product. Again, the button issue is such a big one for me. I've just stopped running. Like, it is still sitting on my desk. I want to finish the DIMMs that are currently active on it, and then I'll migrate on to one of my spares, which has functioning buttons, so that's exciting. But I haven't gone about doing that yet because I just don't feel the motivation. And yes, I have been running a Vital Bracelet since the Vital Bracelet's launch at the start of 2021, so the fact that I've gone like a week without running it for the first time in almost 3 years at this point. It's the end of 2023. I started early 2021, March 2021 rather, and I finally just stopped running it for like a week, or longer than a week, and that's the first time I've done that, and that's because of the buttons. It's really, really kind of annoying, and it's really a shame that it stopped working after a while, and it's more or less a guarantee that this will happen, or at least it's something that's very likely that will happen. In any case, those are my thoughts about the Vital Bracelet BE a year on from its release. I still love it. I still recommend it. If you're on the fence, I would say still get it. It is definitely the best model of the Vital Bracelet you can get, unless, like, between me recording this, me literally saying these words, and me releasing this video, if Bandai announces a BE2, then badly aged things, I guess. But, yeah, so as of recording this, there's no BE2. I would hope that a BE2 would just be just the same thing, very similar at least, but with actual, like, improvements in the buttons and the charging port and any other issues like that. But overall, I'm still a fan, but there's a lot of issues that I kind of wish were fixed, and a lot of things that have been hurting my own enjoyment of the product. Also the app. The app is pretty bad, but you can kind of just use that for storage, which I've been doing. But in any case, that's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts, comments, questions, etc., in the comment section below. Let me know, I already said that, let me know if you have any questions, because a lot of people still are on the fence about the BE, so if you have any questions or any, like, information that you're still not sure about, I do have other videos, so I do recommend you checking those out, because I have gone over various functionality and features. If there's something that I've mentioned in this video that is not super clear, chances are I already have a video on it. So yeah, let me know that. Again, comment section is where the comments go, so do the thing. Like this video for, I guess, the hope that Bandai improves their product eventually. Subscribe if you haven't already, and if you have subscribed, tell your friends, tell your families, tell your enemies, and of course, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!